Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. I want to talk about DeFi today and what's the best strategy for maximizing DeFi ROI. Now, the strategy is risky because DeFi in itself is inherently risky, and it's like high risk, high reward coins. So I would definitely not suggest you do this with like a large portion of your holdings or all of your holdings, just a small portion of your holdings, but that small portion can multiply several times over if this is done right. Now, the best strategy for holding DeFi is not pick the one gem DeFi and hang on to it forever or yield farm forever, because yield farming percentages usually drop off a cliff after a while. And generally, like DeFis have like one or two spikes, and then it just kind of flattens out or goes back down. So you don't want that. I think the best strategy for DeFi by far is to actually hop coins. And you probably hop every couple of weeks because that's kind of like the lifespan of a massively increasing DeFi coin. Because generally, like whether it's like these swaps that come on, or it's like a lending thing or a derivatives thing, it gets really hot. It gets mentioned on social media a lot. It pops up like 10x, and then it kind of flatlines or goes back down after a week or two. You gotta like basically sell after that first pop up. Now it might pop up twice, but even if you sell after the first pop up, you still made money. And that's the thing, and that's actually really the thing in crypto. Like if you sold a coin for 5x and it goes up 10x more, you can't really have regrets because you already made 5x. In crypto, it's all about like the money that you've made and locked in, rather than the money that you have on paper but haven't locked in. Because the money you have on paper and haven't locked in, you haven't really taken the profits yet. Remember, people always say you don't actually lose money until you sell. The opposite is also true. You don't actually gain money unless you sell either, because that's just paper profits and it can get locked down at any time. So that's the entire problem with crypto right now. So that's why you want to like tier DeFi and hop from one to the other. Now, like I said, the actual lifespan of like a DeFi, the rapidly growing lifespan of a DeFi is about a few weeks, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. So let's say like you locked in Pancake Swap about like 4 weeks ago. You'll probably wanted to sell about 2 or 3 weeks ago after a week or two of maybe like 3 weeks of holding Pancake Swap. After you've made a lot of money on Pancake Swap, however much, like 4x, 5x, you basically want to cash out your original holdings because you want to make sure you don't lose anything, and then you're playing with house money, so you can afford to take more risks. After you've cashed out for your first amount on PancakeSwap, the other amount, the other that you have that's still in the market, you want to get out of PancakeSwap and then buy something like Bakery Swap or something that's a little newer and a little shinier and a little newer at the moment, because that's going to massively grow. And then after Bakery Swap, you probably would sell around now, and you look for the next project. Whether you go to DeFi Station, Polka Project, or just search on internet forums and Reddit for new and upcoming DeFi projects, that's really your that's really your prerogative. And you can also look at Twitter and stuff, like like look at like Unistake or other coins like that. I'm not going to mention like that many other coins, but there's a couple like Refinance, which has mixed reviews. Unistake, there's also like Ramp and things like that. So like I'm not going to tell you exactly which cryptos because there's a whole myriad of them, but you want to keep on jumping into new cryptos because those new cryptos are the ones getting all the hype. And the thing is, you do have to pay attention to social media while doing this, because the new cryptos that tend to spurt up a lot are the ones with a lot of social media hype. You're not really going to get like these massive jumps in price without social media hype, because social media hype, I mean, that's how people actually get to know about this new coin, and that's how people start locking liquidity in. And the thing is, most people don't actually care what these coins actually do, but if they see a lot of hype about it, if they see a lot of people like buying into it, they'll buy into it as well. And if you can get in like at the beginning of that hype, or even in the middle of that hype, you can make a couple of times. I think a good rule of thumb is maybe like 3 or 4x. Like get into a new DeFi, get 3 or 4x, because a lot of times these DeFis often go up like 10, maybe even 15x from their beginning. But if you get out at 3 or 4x, cash out like 1x of it into your bank account, because that's your profit. That's like your solid profit that you've actually cashed in. So even if the rest of it goes down the drain, you still make money. And then use the other part to actually invest in new DeFi. And you should jump around every 2 or 3 weeks. I think you can probably do this for a couple of months. And the thing is, like, if you just pick a new DeFi project that a lot of people are talking about and that hasn't already shot up like, 10x or 20x, I actually do think you can do fairly well and you won't really lose all your money. I think the rewards are actually worth the risk at this point. Now, come August or September, the rewards are probably not going to be worth the risk if the market like really starts going down overall. But as long as the market's going up, and especially on new DeFi projects on like upcoming Cardano or Polkadot or other platforms, BNB, besides Ethereum, I think they have the potential to go up a lot. So I do think jumping around on DeFi projects and then just basically jumping around every 2 weeks and buying one of the shiny new projects that's being talked a lot about on social media, I think that is what you actually have to look at. And that's really how you would actually make money, especially when Bitcoin's in a bull cycle. Like Bitcoin's fairly low right now. Well, fairly low. It's still almost 50,000. But I do think it's probably going to go back up in the next 3 weeks. So the thing is, like buying like a shiny new DeFi that's being kind of talked about right now would probably be a pretty good idea. Obviously, like I said, you don't want to do this with all your money because there are plenty of rug pulls in DeFi. But from what I'm seeing, like most DeFis go through at least 1 or 2 stages of explosive growth. And you basically want to get in on one of those stages, cash out when you made 2 or 3x, and then go on to something else that's newer and shinier at this point. Once again, like, make 10 or 20% of your total holdings, because you don't really want to bet the farm on like these really new stocks that really new DeFis that can go down at any time. You don't want to lose it all, but you could make so much money if you jump around a couple of times. Don't hold these for a very, very long time, because a lot of these projects are fly by night, and there's always the newer, shinier project which will actually get the next FOMO. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.